Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is the Nicholas Bersakis Chelsea Ball channel. And today, more news from the transfer window. It is the 7th. We're a few days into the transfer window now. More and more news is starting to arise. First signings, first sales might be coming up on the horizon. Of course, Casade, we talked about yesterday. He will probably end up being the first sale. There's a lot of interest in him, but nothing about him today. No new news about Casade today. The newest news is about Mark Guehi, and his representatives have received the interest from Chelsea so far. Of course, Guehi had a offer accepted from Newcastle in the summer, but he didn't accept the offer to go. But there's very, very new interest on him. Chelsea are very interested in bringing him back. There's also news on PSG and Nkunku. Very, very recent news on this as well. Within the last 30 minutes has been updated about Nkunku and maybe wanting to leave. And then there's news from John Obi Mikel speaking about how Nico Jackson, again, needs to prove him wrong, and he isn't good enough to be the first-team striker. All today, we'll top straight into it. The first bit of news is revolving around Mark Guehi re-signing from Crystal Palace. Of course, Chelsea sold Mark Guehi in 2021 for around $20 million. I think it says it here in the article, £18 million before the new Clear Lake Capital era had started. I remember watching Mark Guehi, and I really didn't understand the point of selling him. Since that point, he's become an England international center back, probably the best center back in the England squad. So it's one that's super frustrating to know that we could have had this guy still here. They just had to earn their profit of $18 million. Very cheap fee, in my opinion. This guy's brilliant, brilliant center back now. But is he a player that Chelsea need to bring back is the main question. Of course, when you think of Mark Guehi, you're thinking of the things I just said. This world-class, brilliant type center back who's only 24 years old, who's got a brilliant future ahead of him. He's only got 18 months left on his contract. Now, Crystal Palace are already going off the perspective that Chelsea may recall Trevoh Chalobah this window. They cannot lose both center backs this window. They need to hold on to at least one. At least one. Is Chelsea better off recalling Trevoh Chalobah or signing Mark Guehi? Now, signing Mark Guehi might come at a smaller price because they have 17 to 20% sell-on. That's what Chelsea have. They have a sell-on clause of 17 to 20%. Whatever club he goes to, they earn that amount of money. They earn 20% or 17% of whatever that sell price is. So, because of that, Chelsea may be able to waive some kind of fee options because of that sell-on clause, and their deal for Mark Guehi may be shortened. It might go from $60 million to $50 million or $48 million, something of those sorts. They might be able to get it down from that certain fee because of that sell-on clause. However, do we think that Mark Guehi is that much better than Trevoh Chalobah? Trevoh Chalobah's already here. He's already a member of the team. He's just on loan at Palace. Is Guehi that much better to the point where I could sit here and say to myself, all right, let's just let them keep Trevoh, but let's just sign their other center back for $60 million and then just, have Chalobah be there as well. Of course they wanted to sell Chalobah, but are we really sitting here and saying to ourselves that Chalobah is $30 million pounds less than Mark Guehi? Right now, in my brain, I cannot say, maybe you could say Mark Guehi's better than him, but it's not by much. Trevoh Chalobah was such a crucial part of our season last year in getting us into Europe to the point where not only was it horrible that the club banished him and told him to leave, but now if they have to recall him, they have to basically put out an apology saying, dude, we screwed up. We needed you. That we just tried to sell you. We tried to get money. But the thing is, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The club, what they need to do right now, as much as I love Mark Guehi, this is one for the summer if you make other sales. But bringing back Trevoh Chalobah is probably the mandatory thing you need to do right now. It is something you need to do right now. Mark Guehi, fine, maybe in the summer. With 12 months left on his contract, they might try and cash in. But Trevoh Chalobah is the number one priority at center back, in my opinion. Let him come back into the team. I think he'll do a brilliant job. That's my first thought. I don't think Mark Guehi's that important as of right now. So our second piece of news is about Nkunku and PSG's re-interest of their former academy graduate. Of course, he came through the PSG academy, was sold to Leipzig, then to Chelsea. And just a short few months ago, probably around a year ago, you could say now, Poch was building his team around Nkunku through preseason until he got that major knee injury, and that set him out for basically 5 months. And at that point, Cole Palmer had established himself as the up-and-coming player who would start to play every single game for us. Now, I think there could have been a world where Nkunku and Palmer could have played. I still think there is a world where they could play in the same lineup together. It's just one of those things where Nkunku seems lazy. The way he plays sometimes seems lazy and doesn't want to press. These things just get inside the brain of the fan, and maybe even in Maresca's brain, and at this point, who knows what could happen. Chelsea have already stated that if players want to go, they have to come forward and they have to tell them, yes, I want to leave the team, I don't want to be here. And then they will let them leave and look for other options. Nkunku is one of those options. They've stated recently within the last hour that Nkunku has not been happy with his playing time here at Chelsea and is considering options, but he's not against playing, for the team still and trying to fight for playing time. That's what he has said. And in this article, if we scroll down to the bottom, Nkunku told Telefoot, PSG remains a big club, but there is no one who has approached him yet. So this is going based off the point that he still respects PSG. He knows how good of a team they are, how big of a club they are, even if it's in the McDonald's Liga. But, he can still respect the fact that they're a brilliant team playing Champions League, which we don't have. But nobody's approached him yet. Now, it makes you think, if PSG were to approach him, would he just immediately accept an offer? They don't want Kolo Muani anymore. They're trying to find options to loan him out. Getting another option up front is probably what PSG need right now. And I think Nkunku could do a brilliant job for them. He's a player who needs the playing time, and he can definitely rekindle his career if he goes to another team like PSG, especially in a league where he should be able to dominate it. So, this is one to think about. I think there's a good shot that Nkunku leaves in the summer, or probably here in January. Really good shot in summer. But we'll see what happens in the few coming days. Last piece of news is from John Obi Mikel's podcast, talking about Nico Jackson and his lack of productivity and lack of clinicalness in front of goal. And, for him, it makes perfect sense as to why he's saying these things. Almost perfect sense. To me, when we heard Jackson talk early in the season against what he had, he had told Obi Mikel to shut up on one of his podcasts. Remember, he was talking about how he wasn't clinical, and then he finished 2 goals, and he was telling him, I am the man for the striker position. The last few games for Nico Jackson have been pretty bad. Abysmal almost. And the last one against Palace, he just could not find the back of the net. Again, he might be one of the better strikers in getting opportunities on the turn, coming deep to get the ball, but in front of net, he's not clinical. He was clinical at the start of the season, but I don't know what has happened since. It's been a rough patch for most guys on the team, yes, but that doesn't excuse you from anything you've been showing all season. John Obi Mikel, throughout this article, spoke about how when he played, they had options. If we see here, if we had Victor Osimhen or the guy from Sporting Gyökeres, we'd still be competing for the league. Maresca needs to talk to Jackson to get his confidence back. He's not scoring enough. Start scoring and tell me to shut up again. I 100% agree. Osimhen has that buyout option for Napoli now of £65 million. It's around the same exact price from, I think, for Sporting for Gyökeres. I think what he needs is competition. With the right amount of competition, it's almost, I think it should help him. It should help him from not having to go out every single week and perform. You have another guy on the bench who could help you. You can come on off the bench and do something off the bench. Jackson has been a player that we've all been impressed with. It's been amazing for £32 million. It's a great deal. He's proved to be a great player, except his finishing has proved to be the only thing that has screwed him at times. Again, like he says, Roman every year brings in another top striker. We had Anelka come in to help Drogba, Torres, Shevchenko. We had all of these options. We don't have a second option. Mark Guehi is 19 years old now. Yes, you might be able to give him chances, but if he plays 9 minutes, what's he going to do in 9 minutes? Maybe you could say, okay, it's 9 minutes. Do something in 9 minutes. But yes, dude, he needs more minutes than just saying, oh, let me play 9 minutes from the 80th minute when the entire game has been played. Yes, we've seen how for Barcelona he came in and scored immediately when he came in 15 seconds. But this is different. It's the Premier League. He's barely played in the Premier League in his career so far. He's played Conference League games, look great, but is that too much on a guy like Marquinhos? We need another striker option coming in either it's January or in the summer. If it's in the summer, it might be too late. So to be fighting for top 4, I think the striker position is one of the most important positions. When we think about positions that we need to sign, center back and maybe striker are the only 2 main options you can be considering. I don't know if anything else is worth it more than the striker and the center back. The most important, I think, is bringing in a player to help with Nico Jackson. Marquinhos is brilliant, but if he's not going to play, then why have him here? Why not have him loaned out? If he's not going to play, why not loan him out? Nico Jackson needs another option. A Gyökeres, an Osimhen, a Liam Delap. Somebody to come in and help him out when he's not scoring is what he needs. We had that with Drogba. We had that with Anelka. We had that with... Okay, I can't say Torres, can't say Shevchenko. But you have these options. Maybe we need to find another option. John Obi Mikel is correct. He's insanely correct. Nico Jackson needs to tell him to shut up again. He needs to go back on the score sheet. It's about all we can ask from you, Nico. Prove him wrong once again. So let me know what you guys think. Not a crazy amount of news within the time period. Still a little bit of news about Marquinhos. He's been updated, but it's not really too much. Not too much news about Trevoh Chalobah. He's been kind of on the shelf. It seems like Chelsea are really considering recalling him, but it's not too much. The PSG news about Nkunku is interesting, but I doubt it'll happen this window. I really have a feeling that Nkunku is going to stay here, at least until the summertime. And then there's the news about John Obi Mikel is one that I think all of us fans are saying to ourselves right now. We need another striker, or Jackson needs to step up his game, because his finishing needs to be better than this. It needs to be better. There's really no other words to tell him right now, except he's got to lock in more, man. So let me know what you guys think. See you guys tomorrow or on Thursday. A little bit busy this week, so I've been trying to get these videos out for you guys, though. Like and subscribe, please. Look at the Instagram and TikTok, Nicholas Prostakis CFC on those platforms. See you guys in the next one. Peace.